guys? Your host, George Mackay, again with another amazing interview. I'm doing it live in my house. Well, not live, pre-recorded, but at my house. I'm chilling down, shooting the breeze with Karou. How are you, sir?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I can't complain, man. Like I said before we went, before we started recording, I'm just getting a chance to talk wrestling with a wrestler. So this is like a good part of my day. Shit part of my day happened at work. Now I'm here and I'm talking to you, so it's a good part of my day. So, Karou, the first question, like I mentioned beforehand, that I always ask is what I like to call the defining moment. Everyone in this business has a moment where they fell in love with this business. Do you remember your defining moment?
Do I remember my defining moment? Man, it was years ago. I have glimpses, of what really got me into pro wrestling and how I fell in love. So it actually all started with my brother. Yeah, I don't know how he started watching pro wrestling, but I know he told me that it was in Turkey. We were at it's not a refugee camp. It was sort of like a refugee camp, but more upscale because we were able to watch some TV. So my brother watched wrestling there in Turkey, which is pretty weird. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it got there, but it got there. And when we moved to Canada, when we got to Canada, he found a channel. He started watching it. So when I started getting older, I started sitting down watching it with him. And one moment that really caught my eye the most is, I'm not gonna lie, is when Steve Austin had the nice interview with Vince McMahon. He had that tie on. I think it was the first time he stunned Vince McMahon too. It was then, like, when I seen that and I seen that guy, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be bad. I wanted to be like, I'm not gonna take crap from nobody.
And I've seen you wrestle twice, and I could say that I think you've achieved that goal. Very early, right out the gate, I could say you've achieved that goal. It's actually interesting because we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I saw you at Junction, and you took on the British Brawler.
Yes.
And it ended in a no decision. Yes. The time limit was reached. There was no pin. There was no tap out. There was no nothing. And at the end of it all, you guys did something that I love to see, which is a show of complete respect for one another. You just had this epic battle in the ring. You're putting each other through hell and back. And at the end of it all, you shook each other's hands. You did that slow, Walt Disney nod. Yeah. And then there was kind of, I don't know if a lot of other people saw it, but I caught it. There was a little bit of a smile on his face, a little bit of a smile on your face, because you knew there was going to be a part two. You knew that there has to be a part two.
There has to be a part two. And especially with British Brawler, like, the matches I have with him are always fun. They're always hard-hitting. He's like, he's the guy I like to face because he's not scared, And he always brings the best out of me. I think he brings the most aggressive side out of me. I feel like he's one of the wrestlers that brings that aggressive side out of me, which trips me out the most. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
Well, you know what they say. Everyone has that one dance partner that does bring out that. It gives you that extra notch. Actually, I stole this from Holden Albright when I interviewed him, and he called it level up moments. It's moments where you kind of reach that glass ceiling, and then you find that way to punch through. And I think when you tangle with the British Brawler, I think both of you find that way to punch through.
Yeah.
You have that charisma
yes.
that a lot of wrestlers don't have. So all I can say from being a fan of you and a fan of Junction, you got to make these matches happen. But after part 2 happens and we get that decision, part 3's got to happen with gold on the line. So one of you got to steal that title from Pretty Ricky. You got to get that title from Pretty Ricky, and then that first challenger out the gate has to be, if it's him, it has to be you, and if it's you, vice versa. It's got to be one or the other.
That's true.
And it's got to be with gold on the line, because I want to see how far you guys take it with gold on the line. So I know from doing my research and actually having my former co-host know you,
yes,
The Voice. We used to call her The Voice, Michelle. What up to The Voice?
Yes.
But we used to call her The Voice, and the reason why is because she was the voice of reason. Between the three of us, when we started this, she was the one that came out with she was not really on my side. She was not on my other co-host, the former co-host, the Animals side. She was always in the middle, but she found that balance. And in talking with her and preparing for this interview, she mentioned to me that you were a football player.
Yes.
And as we know, it's no secret in wrestling, football players and wrestlers kind of transition hand in hand. Now in Canada, being a football player is not easy because the goal, as much as you want it to be the NFL, we have what I like to call, and I hope you don't take offense to this, we have what I like to call the participation sports of all sports, which is the CFL.
No.
Yes, I'm sorry. The CFL, Karou, this may change your opinion of me, but the CFL is the only sport where you could lose almost every game and still make the playoffs.
It's true. Okay, yeah, you can. All right, you can. But, like, still gives our guys a platform to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the boys that are out there still playing, balling out in the CFL, going ham. Like it gives them a platform to try to still make it to the NFL, And at the end of the day, yes, it's always glorious to make millions. You know what I'm saying? But if you're still getting paid to do what you love and you're still on national television, what more do you need? You know?
I don't need any more. I'm just going to shut the hell up now because obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. No, you're 100% right. And I do say that as well. I say it gives them a chance to play. It's just it's hard to see because you know what? They have a grind just like the NFL does,
Exactly.
but the pay scale is much different. But it's not just the CFL that the pay scale is different. I mean, look at women's sports and men's sports. Mm-hmm. I think the only sport where women and men really are paid equally would be wrestling.
I don't know.
Well, you don't know, but all I'm saying is that if you look at the caliber of the female talent now that's especially coming out, some of the girls in Junction, some of the girls in the indie scene in Ontario, and then you look at the bigger platforms like Impact, Tessa Blanchard, she's killing it. Mm-hmm. The only girl I know who can beat the crap out of Sami Callihan and still look beautiful.
Yes, in that, yeah, women are going ham, and I do like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially where the area I come from, we got women soldiers going ham defending our country. So when I see things like that, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But getting paid, they should get paid sometimes way more than us, or at least at the same level as us.
100%. So football.
Yes.
And then I guess, did you hang it up because of an injury? Did you hang it up because it was something that maybe you yourself kind of grew out of, and then you transitioned to wrestling? Talk me through that. How do you go from football and, as you put it, hamming it up in high school, and then we transitioned to wrestling? You're still a young guy. You're only 28.
Yeah. So
I myself am in my 30s, but we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there right now.
So I played high school, and then I was fortunate enough to play Seja football out in John Abbott. So that was fun. What actually made me make the switch? So I always knew this was something I wanted to do, pro wrestling. I just didn't know when I would start. Obviously my goal was to make it to the NFL or CFL. And maybe after that, see what happens, you know what I'm saying? If I want to pursue it again, if I want to pursue it, go ahead and pursue it. If I don't want to pursue it, at least I was able to do what I wanted to do, And when I played my last year at Seja, it didn't go the way I wanted to go, you know what I'm saying? I was a bit too, I would say, a little bit too ignorant for my liking. Should have sparring up more, listened more to what my coaches had to tell me, than really be defensive to what they're trying to tell me. And it didn't go the way I wanted to go. So when I actually moved back home, I just said, forget it, I'm gonna do it. But before I actually left, my brother actually told me about Santino Marella and Battle Arts and how he's opening up a school. So I actually told him, I go, okay, you know what? If my last season doesn't work out for me, if I don't get a chance to go play CIS football, then I'll do pro wrestling. Yeah, so then that didn't work out. I moved back. I told myself I'm just going to take a year off of sports, just try to recover because my body was really hurting me from football. And that happened, and I went straight to Battle Arts after, when was it, January 2015.
She 4 years ago, going on 5 years ago. Actually, in a couple months, right? Yeah. January's literally around the corner. Can you believe how fast this year's gone?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous,
crazy.
Man. We're 2 weeks away from Halloween. I just can't get over it.
My mom said the same thing. My mom actually was up to me. She came up to me. I think it was it was yesterday. We were just talking. She goes, "Can you believe that we're already in October?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Is it just me? Is it just me because I'm getting old? So I feel like time is just flying by because I'm older. I'm watching you guys get old. Are you guys am I just watching you guys grow and then I'm feeling time is just flying, or is time really flying?" To my mom, I go, "Mom, man, I feel the same way." I go, no, it's not just you. I look at it, I go, "Man, what's going on?" Because I look at my little cousins, you know what I'm saying? That were people that I've seen when they're young and they're already grown men, and or grown women, and I'm just yo, what the hell? And
I feel you on that, man. You met my daughter, my partner in crime. I call her the mini host. She comes out to me with a lot of the events, and I can't believe she's 10. She just had her 10th birthday actually yesterday.
Jesus.
It was her 10th birthday. She's a big double digits now.
That's crazy.
I'm 3 years away from dating, I think. 3-4 years away from when that's going to happen. But that's my fun point. That's when I get to be fun.
Yeah.
The goal is to make one of them crap their pants when they come over to date her.
Yes.
And then once they do that, I'll stop.
Yes.
I'll stop.
Yes. Honestly, yo, if you're dating if I ever have a daughter, which I really want to have, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. People that know me will know what I'll be a great father. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I know I'll be a great father. But, yo, any guys that try to date my daughter, honestly, yo, just wait. I'll sit down and talk to them. I'll give them some tea, you know what I'm saying, some water. But just know, the way I'm looking at you, oh, buddy. Oh, man, when I say 9 o'clock, if it's 9:01, yo, I'm coming for you.
Your mom's going to have to push you around in a wheelchair for the rest of your life.
No, I wouldn't get that far. But I'll probably send my dog after him, because I really want a dog. I'd be like, sick and boy.
You want like a big, what's your dog of choice? You like Doberman?
Chihuahua. I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know if that dog's going to really do any damage, but good for you. You can hope. You can hope. No.
I hate those dogs. I'd get myself, a nice husky, maybe a German, German Shepherd.
German Shepherds are beautiful.
Oh, they're nice.
You know what I could see you rocking with? Just because, you're a big boy, a lot of personality. You got to rock it out with like a Saint Bernard, man.
Jeez.
Those dogs are, or even, you know what? Even I'll raise you a Saint Bernard. I'll go Bull Mastiff.
No way.
Bull Mastiff. That's like a horse.
Yo, my dad has a customer that has a Bull Mastiff, and they let it run around free in the backyard. It's super nice. I didn't know this, but the first time I seen it, I went out with the lawnmower because my dad does landscaping. I'm ready to cut this yard. I seen it. Holy shit, I almost shit my pants. Like, they have a fence, and instead of just opening up the fence, I hopped over the fence like an idiot. I was terrified. My dad started laughing at me. But, yo, those bad boys are huge.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought I didn't know what I was looking at, if it was a dog or a horse.
I heard those 10, 20-pound bags of dog food.
Yeah.
They usually only last about a week.
A week.
Week and a half. Oh, yeah, you're talking 2 cups, 3 cups to feed that Mastiff. I mean, it's a horse. It really is.
Jesus.
I've seen, like, the biggest one I think I've seen was 160?
160
pounds, man. And this thing was, but like you said, it was like a kitten. It was the sweetest, most gentlest thing. But then, again, if you mess with anyone in its family...
Oh, it's eating you.
Oh, it'll rip you apart.
Yeah.
It'll rip you apart, and then it'll just lick the bones clean.
Like,
there won't be any sign of you left.
When I see his customers playing with it, I'm just like, yo, guys, like, when it goes up, right? Like, you're basically looking at its balls, like,
yeah.
It's so huge. Like, and you're just playing with this, like, you're hugging it up, like, it's like 2 feet tall, or like it's your teddy bear. It's like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's a mountain, bro.
100%. So, Santino Morella's School, going on 5 years.
5 years.
I had a chance to interview Santino. Nicest guy in the world. Hilarious. Very humble for the career that he's had. And actually an inspiration to me, because if you think about how late he got started, just like Diamond Dallas Page, if you think about how late in the game they got started and how far they progressed. I mean, Santino is an Intercontinental Champion, a U.S. champion, a multiple-time tag team champion.
He should have won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Should have.
2012, that should have been his year, man.
Should have been his year, but you know what? I think the career that he had and all the accolades that he has, he's Hall of Fame bound.
Yeah.
He's Hall of Fame bound. I mean, to go out on your first night on Monday Night Raw and win the Intercontinental Championship, that's something special.
Yes, I was like, yo, when was that? That was what? 2000 and...
That's when they went to Italy.
Yeah, what was that?
2006, 2007, yeah.
I was in grade 10, grade 11. Yeah, I watched that actually live. Man, yo, when they picked him out, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was real stuff. Of
course, I marked out too. Because at the time, we didn't get it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, yo, what do you mean you're taking him out of the crowd? Like, how's this possible? And then when he won, I was just like, damn, I got to be like him. Took me out of the crowd.
So you go in for your first training session.
Yes.
You take that first bump.
I didn't like
and
it.
I love these stories. I love these stories because I have so many reactions. So you take that first bump and you're literally staring at a metal ceiling with a couple of drop-down lights. What runs through your head when you take that first bump?
I didn't like it. I did not like it. Like, I did not like it at all. The crash pads were so much better.
Yeah?
That's the only thing I was thinking about. He's like, why couldn't it be on a crash pad?
Yeah.
It hurt.
But you obviously you must have liked it enough to go back because you kept going back.
No, it's true. I did still, yeah. But you know, after a while, when you like learn how to bump properly, especially in that hellhole of a ring, nah, it's not a hellhole. It was a really good ring. It's a really good ring. You know,
It is, yeah.
It's just really stiff.
But aren't they all? I mean, if you think about it, logistically, you're talking metal on 2x4s on foam padding about 3 inches thick.
But you'd be surprised. There's difference. There's a difference between rings. Like the ring at Battle Arts, the reason why it's pretty stiff is because we also use it for boxing, Muay Thai, for the other classes that are there too. So like, there's gonna be days where like it's gonna be pumped up.
So it's like a universal remote, but for the different types of sports within the facility.
Exactly. So like it's meant. That's why it's pretty stiff. You know, it's meant to be like that. So like when you go out to other rings, just because we get to work in that one ring, which is honestly has made my bumps like better because it teaches you how to bump right. It feels like I'm laying on clouds.
What about the ring at Junction? Because I've noticed that ring is very low to the ground compared to most other rings. Is that ring comfortable?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I think that ring would be a little bit more uncomfortable because of how low it is to the ground.
No, it's okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, something I don't know. I'll just shut the fuck up here. You do the rest of the interview.
No. I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking.
Or I don't know. Or it's maybe like I'm a weird guy. Like my pain tolerance is pretty high.
Again, how many years of football? Your pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Your body's probably numb in certain areas.
Oh yeah, especially right here, buddy.
He's pointing to his head right now. So, as you're progressing through the classes and you're learning, and then you got to get to the fun class, which is the character development class. When he finally comes to you and he says, "Okay, we have to figure out who you are."
Yes.
So, and this is another great point that I always like to make because I want to know, was Karou right out the gate, or did we evolve to Karou, or at least to the Karou that I've seen now? Were there stages of Karou, or did it right out the gate where you're like, nah, I'm that's who I am. I'm Karou.
So like this is funny. Well, it's funny to me. So the day where Anthony goes, yo, okay, you're gonna debut, for Battle Arts. I was like, okay, perfect. Like I'm gonna debut. What am I gonna do though? Because like when I first started, everybody told me, who cares about character work? Who cares about like your gimmick? Learn the basics first, which is true. You know, like throw all that out the window. Who cares what your name's gonna be? Who cares what you're trying to pursue? Like what gimmick you want? Like who cares right now? You know, like get the basics down, and then the rest will flow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the basics down, but you have the character, who cares?
Right. You got to know what to do in the ring.
Exactly.
In order for the character to shine through.
Exactly. Because if you're unsafe, nobody's going to work with you.
And then you're not going to have much of a career.
Exactly. But you have a character. Mm-hmm. Who cares? You know? So they all told me, like, just learn the basics first, the character will come. So I've obviously been, trying to... I was still learning the basics at that point, too. So I'm still learning the basics now. What am I saying? And so... we're just learning. Then when he told me that I'm going to debut, I went up to him and go, Anthony, what do you want me to do? You know, like, I don't even know what to do. He just said, be you, be where you're from, be Kurdish. I was just, brilliant. You know, I can for sure be Kurdish. You know what I'm saying? Because that's me. So when he said that, I was just like, man, I knew what I was going to wear. I didn't know what I was going to do with my hair, but I knew exactly what I was going to wear. It's just like, I got Kurdish clothes. You know, I'm going to wear these bad boys. You know what I'm saying? Because from when I was young, I always wanted to represent my country. Like, when I played football, before, like, not in high school, but when I got to college, I used to wear a Kurdistan jersey. You know, so, like, everything I do, I try to do for my country, you know? Because I love that place to death, you know? So, as soon as he said that, I just, perfect, I know what I'm going to do. So I came in with my Kurdish clothes. Then Anthony's like, yo, cover your face with your hair. I was like, all right. So I did that. So then that's Karou, the monster, was created, you know, just by that. But then Karou, I always knew what he was going to be. I always knew what story he was going to have, because Karou's, you know, I'm just going to tell them my story. You know, the way I was brought up, what my parents had to go through, what my brother and my sister had to go through to come to Canada. So it's like, I can tell that story. And it's the truth, you know, it's not a lie.
Right. So tell me that story. What was so before we go into that, Karou is basically just a more hyped up version of yourself.
Exactly.
And what does Karou mean? Does Karou have a meaning?
So Karou's a mountain in Kurdistan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So basically, you are the mountain.
Exactly.
I love it.
I hope that's what it means, or my parents are lying to me. but that's what my parents told me.
I'm gonna have somebody listen to this interview when it drops, and they're gonna search it up, and they're gonna be like, "No, man, that means like salt.
Imagine
That means that means salt shaker. This guy's name is Salt Shaker. What's happening right now?
Yeah, that'd actually be sick. You know, salt shakers. Everyone needs a salt shaker. You know, so everyone needs a Karou.
Well played. So tell me about the story. Tell me about like how hard it was for your parents to come over here. Like you mentioned earlier, when your brother started watching, it was a refugee camp.
Yes.
That can't be easy to go from that to struggle to get over here, because I was born here. Mm-hmm. So to me, I know what the rest of the world goes through, but I myself have never experienced that. So when I get a chance to kind of touch on it, if it's not too personal, when I get a chance to touch on it, I do like to hear about it, because it fascinates me, because I want to know. It's individuals like that go through all those hardships, that come here, they really appreciate and embrace what our great country is about. Because Canada is one of the few countries, no matter where you come from, the minute you touch down here, the minute you touch Canadian soil for the first time,
they love you still.
You home.
Yeah.
We don't love you. You home.
It's true.
That's what it is. We welcome everyone that comes to the country, because everyone that comes here, in my opinion anyways, as long as they're contributing and putting back into Canada after what Canada's given to them, I'm all for it. So walk me through all that stuff.
So for a lot of you guys that if you guys know or don't know, Kurdistan, we're an oppressed nation. You know, we've been going through genocides after genocides. There's basically a genocide that might even happen right now as we speak. If you guys are watching the news or not watching the news, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in northern Syria with Turkey, with Kurdistan, and with just a lot of nonsense that really shouldn't be happening in our day of age, especially now where we're trying to move forward and not backwards, but for some odd reason in the Middle East we continue to move backwards, you know? But back in the 80s, there's a genocide that Saddam Hussein started, and he basically bombed a Kurdish village and called Halubja with mass chemical weapons. By him doing that, it started basically a crazy-ass war between Kurdistan and Iraq, and during this time it was actually war between Iraq and Iran and the Kurds that were in the mix of it too. So it was just like an all-out free-for-all basically. So during that time, my dad was actually a soldier back home, and my mom was married to my dad, and there was just a lot of like controversy that happened. So like, if you end up going to jail and you escape prison and they want you back, they're gonna go for your family, sort of like what the mob would do if they want something from you. You know what I'm saying?
It's right. It's that mafioso mentality.
Exactly.
If I can't get you, I'll hurt everyone around you.
Exactly, just to get to you.
Right.
So my dad was in jail. My dad escaped prison, and then they went after my mom. They went after my grandma, rest in peace. And
big ups to Granny.
They went after them. They took them to jail, and while they're in jail, it's not like how jail is here. You know, you don't get food that often. You don't have a bed to sleep on. You know, you don't basically have. Even though you're in jail, you still have a sense of freedom because you're able to still walk around. Even though you're not walking around outside, you still get to roam around wherever you are. Jails in the Middle East, there's none of that. There's no roaming around. You're getting tortured. You're getting beat. You know, you're not getting fed. Some days, you know, or if you're a woman, they might rape you. So it's not like, you know, it's obviously two different ways. You know, it's two different worlds. Sorry, and my mom went to jail back home there in Iran. Escaped prison, went back to jail, basically pregnant with my brother at this point. And before this even happened, my mom lost my brother during the war. So so that happened, got thrown to jail while she was pregnant, got beat while she was pregnant with my brother. And then with my brother, basically, when he was about to be born, they gave them an ultimatum. Yo, if it's a girl, you can go. If it's a boy, you have to stay in prison. So my mom said, fuck that. The political party my dad was in helped my mom escape. So my mom escaped while wherever she was, she told me that she had to give birth. So she was basically in the middle of a battlefield giving birth to my brother.
Wow.
Yeah. From there, they're running around basically escaping what's going on. Ended up in Turkey where she got thrown into jail in Turkey. Well, at this point, she was pregnant with me.
Wow.
Yeah. So she was pregnant with me in the prison. And then a couple of months later, I was born. She was able to leave prison, chilling a normal life until Canada said, "Joe, come on over." Then we came on over.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's you hear all that, and I gotta say, your mom's she's one tough lady.
Oh, she is. Man.
Your parents, and you know what? You're all happy. You're all happy. You're healthy. You're here. Your sister. How old's your sister?
Sister.
She said she's my age, right?
Close to your age. She's 84, so 30. She's 35.
Oh, you broke a cardinal rule, bro. You're never supposed to give the age of a woman.
I don't care. She's my sister.
That's true. All right, so she's 35, and how old's your brother?
Ah, shit. I'm 28, so he's 4 years, 32.
Okay, so your sister's the oldest.
Yes.
Then it's your brother, and then you're the baby.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not a baby. No.
People actually think I'm the oldest sometimes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I laugh at them.
You laugh at them.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel bad though when people look at you and they think you older than
Yeah.
your 32-year-old brother?
Yeah. It makes me. I get angry.
Do you like start checking yourself with gray hairs, making sure there's nothing showing up?
I have gray hairs. Yeah. So it's like my uncle actually pointed it out a couple of days ago.
Oh wow.
Pretty upset.
So do you have family still over there going through all this?
Home.
Everyone's back home.
I have everyone's back home, but my uncle, he's here, and everyone else is back home. Well, my dad's here, mom, brother, and sister, but everyone else back home.
Well, I hope whatever's going on over there, I hope there's a resolution, and I hope there could be peace one day over there.
I hope so too. If you guys are all listening, on my Instagram page, in my bio, at Karou Wrestling, in my bio, there's a link for a petition to sign, basically stopping Turkey from what they're doing right now. So if you guys can go sign that, please, that'd be helpful.
When this episode drops, I will also reiterate as the promotion carries on. We'll make sure that we get as many as we can for you.
Thank you.
I would be an honored to help you with that.
Thank you.
So let's get back to a little bit of a lighter-hearted subject. Let's get back to wrestling.
Perfect.
So I know that as you progressed, you debuted, you worked yourself in, you came comfortable, and then when did you start branching away from Battle Arts, working with the other promotions? And also, weren't you not a champion in Battle Arts?
Yes.
So tell me about that.
First ever.
You were the first ever. Wow,
Yeah.
that's legendary, my man. That's legendary.
is.
Thank you. Congratulations to you on that. That's nobody can ever take that away from you.
No.
Forever.
Forever.
Etched in the. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about when Santino Marella comes up to you and says, "You're the flagship."
He never came up to me. It was actually it was trippy. So it was weird, man. It was weird. It was like I feel like subliminals were thrown at me, and I didn't catch on to them until I actually won the title, and then I was just like, "Whoa!" They were throwing at me. I should have caught on. I didn't think I was gonna win. One day it was at training. I was just working out, and I went up to Anna. Then I was just like, "Yo, I'm pretty excited for this tournament." And she goes, "You are?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Honestly, like I know I'm not gonna win, but I'm just excited for this. You know what I'm saying? Like to even be involved in to be involved in this tournament is even humbling. You know, it's my first year. Like I just completed 1 year of training at Battle Arts. You know, I'm gonna be in this tournament. It's fun. You know." And then she said, "What do you mean you're not gonna win because you're new?" She goes, "You never know what's gonna happen." So she said that, and I was just, "Whoa, why is she gonna say that for?" And then one day it was my boy's birthday. He went to a buffet, and I said, "I'm not gonna be at practice." And then Anthony goes, "What? You don't want to be a champion?" And then I was just like, "All right, you know." I ate my food there. I came back, and then we did practice. And then the day of the show comes, we're all like discussing, and then one by one, Anthony would tell us like, "Okay, you're going to the next round," because he didn't want to tell everybody backstage. So he goes, "Okay, you're gonna go to the next round." So then when that happened, I was just like, okay. So I sat down, you know, I was tying my shoelaces and stuff like that. And then Anthony calls Randy Bino. He talks to Bino. I don't know what he told Bino. I don't know what the discussion was. Bino came in with a smile on his face. I go, "Oh, what, you're going to win?" And then he goes, "No, you're winning." Then I was just like, no, you're going to win? He goes, no, you're winning. I was just like, "What the hell? I'm winning?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, congratulations. And then I was like, thank you. Yeah, so he didn't even come up to me and tell me. Like
So you win the match.
Yes.
You got this beautiful championship strapped across your shoulders. What's the first thing going through your head?
First thing that was going through my head was like, I don't even know what was going through my mind at the time. There was a lot of things going. My whole family was there first, so I was happy that they got to see that. Basically, like there was a lot that was going through my mind. One, I couldn't believe it that I won. Two, I couldn't believe that he trusted me. You know, like I just completed a year. Like, why me? You know what I'm saying? And three, I was just like, wow. Like ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to win a belt. You know, and I got to win a belt. Yeah.
You know what? I can tell you why he picked you. I don't know why you don't know he could pick you. Maybe it's because you don't have an ego. You're a very humble guy, and I love and I respect that about you. But I can tell you why he picked you. One, you have work ethic. Two, you're passionate. Three, you're humble. And four, I don't think you recognize your own ability and how fantastic you really are. So I would take those as if a legend, a future Hall of Famer, is putting his trust in you to don the first ever belt, you don't question it. You just go with it.
That's true. That's what I did. I just went with it. I didn't quit. Well, yeah, I didn't even ask him why me. I still never asked him why me.
You never have to ask why.
That's true.
You don't have to ever ask. You just know that he put his faith in you. So how long was the title reign?
Not that long still.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, not that long. How long was it? Like 3-4 months?
That's a decent title reign.
Yeah, it was like 3-4 shows.
Dude, I've seen wrestlers who have literally lost it. Okay, hello, Zack Ryder.
That's
won
true, and lost it
the next night. You lasted 4 months. He lasted 24 hours. Yeah. Actually, I don't even think he lasted a full 24 hours. I think he won it at like 7:30. No, I think he won it at like 9 o'clock on the Sunday, and he lost it like 8:15 on the Monday. He didn't even last 24 hours, bro. It was like a day. It wasn't even a full day. So you know what? That's awesome, man. That's crazy to sit there and win a title. And actually, you segued perfectly into my next question, because you said your family was there, so they all got to see that. So talk to me about family support, because it seems like you and your mom, you got that very close relationship. Yes. You're probably very close to your dad. It seems like you're very close with all your immediate family, your sister, your brother. So you tell your brother, okay, I'm if football doesn't work, I'm going to do wrestling.
Yes. He was happy.
Of course he was, because he's been watching it since he was a kid. He got you into it, so he's like, yo, that's awesome. What was the conversation like with mom and dad? That's what I'm curious about.
So this was actually, when I think about it sometimes, I laugh, because it's funny. I used to actually like joke around with them when I was younger. He's like, yo, mom, dad, I'm going to be a wrestler. And then they'll get mad. Like, nah. And then my dad, like, you say stuff in Kurdish that I would not say right now. And, like, you just get mad, you know? And then he would always see, like, he hates Triple H. For some reason, my dad does not like Triple H. And the things
Your dad and I would not get along, man.
Yeah.
Triple H is my boy, man.
Yeah.
I've been a Triple H fan since day one. Terrorizing. That's when I appreciated the man.
That is hilarious. My dad, for some reason, he doesn't like him. Like, guys with long hair, when he first came to Canada, you know...
I got you.
You got me, right? Yeah,
I got you.
So my dad hated him. And then my mom, she hates it. She goes, I didn't suffer for like many years to come to Canada for you to be a wrestler and get beat up, you know? That's all she says. And then when I got older, I was just like, yo, I'm making money. These guys can't tell me nothing if I'm paying for it. So I went up to them, I go, yo guys, I'm doing it. They go, you're doing what? I go, I'm gonna be a wrestler. My mom, she looked at me like I was crazy. My dad started laughing. But I feel like they knew it was gonna come. It was just time.
They were waiting for you to just break the news to them. Yeah. They already had it in their head that I think this is what he's gonna do.
My mom still blames my brother when I come back with like any cuts on me. Like if like my back hurts or something hurts, she gets mad at my brother. She goes, "It's your fault."
Well, it kind of is. He's the one that turned you on to it, right? So when they were there and they watched you win that title, that they must have been a proud mom and dad moment for sure.
Oh yeah, they were really happy. I think that was the time when my dad actually just said, "Yo, you know what? You can do what you want to do."
There you go. So in a way, Santino Marella, by giving you the title, helped your parents realize he's going to do what he's got to do. We just got to support him.
Yes.
So in terms of your career so far, we're only 4 years in. Mm-hmm. Progression is progression. You're going to keep growing and evolving. Yes. Is there, right now you're a face, because at Junction City, at least you're over. Yeah. I never got a chance to see you at Battle Arts yet, so I don't know what the crowd reaction is for you
there. They love me there.
They love you there. So, I always got to ask because right now you're a face, and it seems like you love being a face. But is there a dark side to Karou?
Oh, I'm a heel wherever I go, and I love being a heel.
Are you sure? Because I got to tell you, everywhere I've seen you, you a face.
Yeah,
They love you.
I know it's weird. Like I think they don't love to hate me. You know, they just love to cheer for me. Wherever I, even as a heel, sometimes I get cheered. You know, but I guess it's like depending on the audience.
You know who has more heat than you? Whenever I see him at Junction,
Quickie?
Ryan Wright.
Yeah, Leo.
Ryan Wright has the most heat.
That's my boy.
Ryan Wright, my
That's
daughter
my
loves
boy.
him. At Junction City, actually, when everyone was booing for him, she was the only one cheering.
I seen that. I was so
And
happy.
he shared it. He shared it. He shared the vote. He's like, look at this young, beautiful, smart girl.
Yeah.
She understands everything. Not like the rest of you snowflakes. I think Ryan Wright is progress. I gotta reach out to Ryan Wright. I gotta get him on the show for sure.
He's a G. He's my road buddy.
Oh, you guys travel together.
Yeah, him and Nathan. Yeah, those guys. Those are my road buddies.
So, is there any other promotions that you're working towards where we could see more Karou at?
SKM. You can see me at man, honestly that was bad, man. When it comes to memory, my memory is horrible. SKM.
Battle Arts Junction.
Battle Arts Junction. Oh man. And then there's other ones. I gotta go on my phone to check them on my schedule, my calendar. But there's many other shows too.
Perfect.
I know I'm gonna be on let me check. I think it's NSW, if I'm not mistaken, or GWN.
GGWN, okay, yeah.
That's like in Hamilton or
Yep.
something. Yeah, GWN. That's where I'm gonna be on next November 2nd.
November 2nd.
Yeah, so you can
Okay, well,
check
this
that.
interview will drop after
Okay.
that show. But that's okay. There's going to be plenty more time to get you back on the show down the line.
Just go on my Instagram. I'm posting everything there. If you ask me this question on top of my head, I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys.
I asked the tough questions here, okay? I want to get to the nitty gritty. No, but you know what? Follow on Instagram. It's Karou Wrestling
Yes.
on Instagram. And a couple more questions. If you still got time, you having a good time?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So I asked this question a lot. And I retired it actually a few weeks ago when Casey Spinelli gave me the best answer. And I'm not going to tell you the answer. I'm going to propose the question. I actually have a setup that I do for it. So picture this. Picture not any timeline, but a time in the near future. You walk down the stairs to your house, maybe your own house, because you've progressed so far in wrestling that you've earned your own house. And there in the kitchen is your wife, your girlfriend maybe. She makes you coffee. You sit down, you have breakfast. And then you walk over to the kitchen table, and in front of you are 5 contracts. Is your skin tingling a little bit? You getting excited? 5 contracts, all for the same amount of money, same amount of dates, same obligations. 5 companies that I live and breathe for: WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro, and Ring of Honor. These are the 5 that I myself follow religiously. There are a lot of other great promotions out there, but these are the 5 that I follow religiously, as well as the beautiful Ontario indie scene that we have here. Who do you choose? And who's the first battle that you'd like to go at? Who's the first star on that roster? Whichever roster you choose that you would like to say, that's the guy, that's the one I want to tangle with right out the gate.
Easy. Just say WWE.
Okay.
And
Who's Karou going at first?
people might be like, why? When I say the name. There's 2, actually. Because it can be either one of them.
Okay.
Jimmy or Jey Uso.
So you want to take on either of the Usos
Yeah.
in a one-on-one.
Yeah.
I like it.
The only reason why is like one, I feel like I'll mesh with those guys. You know, like the way that they move, the way that they talk, and the way that they act is like, you know, I'm a Metro Housing baby. You know, I wasn't born in Metro Housing, but I grew up in Metro Housing. So like when you have that swagger, you know, when you have that personality, you know, I can mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We can talk on a level where we're gonna understand each other. And maybe not everybody's gonna understand us, but we'll understand us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes that's all that matters. So I feel like with them, I feel like we'll I feel like we'll just have a great match. You know,
A classic wrestling match or maybe a stipulation type match? Steel cage, falls count anywhere.
with those guys, I feel like you can have any match and it'll be amazing. Any stipulation, it'll still be.
Would you
amazing.
consider a handicap match? The Usos versus Karou.
Nah, man.
It's got to be one of them.
One of them.
One of them. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Have you? So that actually segues perfectly into my next question. Have you ever had any stipulation matches?
Any stipulation.
Have you done like no holds barred, steel cages, last man standing, anything like that?
I've done a no holds barred. I've done actually a cage match at Barry one time, Barry Wrestling. And yeah, that's it. Those are the only two. Like no holds, and yeah, that was it. Just no holds barred matches and one cage match.
Are you a fan of those stipulation type matches, or do you like the classic wrestling matches?
If the money's right, I'll do a stipulation match.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm not stupid no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do anything for a dime or a nickel. Like if you want me to do a stipulation match, I'm sorry. Like my body is worth more,
right?
Than just cheers. You know, I might sound like not uptight or rude or probably foolish for even saying that.
No, you sound protective because again, this is if this is not working right, you don't eat.
Exactly.
And I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather leave a match with my bones intact than do a stipulation match for $20 and have a broken arm.
Right.
It's not going to make me happy.
Absolutely. The more you're going to spend and more time you're going to lose recovering from that injury, you'd lose way more money down the line anyway.
Exactly.
So we didn't really get a chance to touch on it, but influences. Like you mentioned Stone Cold, so I get that's one influence. Is there any other wrestlers that kind of stick out for you?
Undertaker, The Rock, Jimmy and Jey Uso, you know, those guys. 100, that's it.
You just want to be a member of the Uso Penitentiary so bad, don't you?
Nah, man, I don't know, man. Just something about like that, just that whole that Samoan bloodline, bro. Just something about them. They're all grimy, man. Like
except for Roman Reigns. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, except for him. I don't care about him. But like, yo, they're all grimy, man. They have like a rugged side to them. I'm a rugged man, you know. If you come at me rugged, I'm gonna respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like that. I like that personality. I don't know, man. Maybe I grew up in the hood for way too long, or what. But man, I'm a Timberlands guy. You know, if you come in, I'll come in with like some crazy Timbs. Probably won't even be laced up right. You know, I'll come in with my beard scruffed. I'll come with some track pants. I'll come in looking like a Wu-Tang Clan member.
And I'll be right behind you with my hair perfectly coiffed, my goatee shaved, and my diamond earrings in my ears. All right, my last question before we go is it's an easy one. It's one that I only ask when I feel the vibe is right.
Perfect.
Where do you see yourself? What's the short-term goals for you? Obviously progressing and getting more and learning more and growing and branching out to more promotion. But what's the short-term goal for you? Let's say 5 years from now. What's the one thing that Karou that you want to do more than anything in this business?
That's an easy question. Got me thinking.
It's an easy question for me to ask. It's hard for you to answer.
Short-term goal, 5 years. Honestly, within 5 years, I would love to at least be able to say I've traveled to 5 or 6 different countries. All because of pro wrestling.
I think that's a great goal. That's an absolute great goal, and that's an attainable goal. And that's what I think the most fun about talking to wrestlers is that you talk to them, figure out where they've been and where they want to go, and I think that's an obtainable goal for. Have you wrestled in the States at all yet?
Yes.
And how's the experience there? Because you know what, Canadian fans, we're nice, we get into it, but we're respectful. American fans can be rowdy. How was the experience with the American fans?
Can I say they're racist with a capital R?
Hey, no holds barred, 100%. So is there any kind of, I guess this kind of a separate question now. Has there ever been a fan that's kind of crossed the line with you? Like believed it so much that they just had to just get up in your face. You know the fan I'm talking about. The type of fan I'm talking about. No,
it never happened yet. But I can tell you about one experience where the whole crowd was racist and I didn't know how to take it. So it was my first time wrestling in the States. It was actually my first time doing an indie show. Thanks to Hornet. I actually thank Hornet for everything. You know, I thank you, Hornet, for everything, bro. He's actually the reason why, like, my skills are the reason why. He's the reason why I'm me, basically, you know? And my skills are the way they are because of him. He used to do, like, all these beginner classes in the morning. I used to go to them. Thank you, Hornet. And he's the reason why I actually got into the indie scene because he brought me to my first indie show. Loved it. Fell in love with it, actually.
Hornet. Thank you, Hornet. 100%.
It was in America, and I was facing Hornet actually in the match, and the crowd was chanting terrorist, ISIS, go back to ISIS, you're a terrorist. Yeah, just all nasty, just the whole entire match.
Just pretty much Fox News feeding the bullshit.
Exactly.
Just everybody, because you look a certain way, you're
terrorist.
automatically that way.
And even though the announcer said, from Kurdistan, Karou, they all still said.
As soon as they heard the Stan, I think that's what it was. As soon as they heard any Stan, Pakistan, Iran, anything that ends in like an AN, they're all over you. And that's okay. You know what, though? At least you could say now you've earned your stripes with that. You know what, if you ever go back to the States, you know what's coming.
But you know what, though? Now, looking at it, I would take that heat any day.
It's good organic heat. When
Yeah.
it's like that, it's good organic heat.
But at the time, I was really upset. I still tell everybody about that story because like nobody's ever been racist to me, you know? So it's like, hearing that, fucking cheese me.
Yeah. No, 100%. That would piss me off too.
Yeah.
That's like somebody calling me a wop squap or something like that. Because I'm Scottish and Italian. Yeah, that would 100% piss me off for sure.
But
that's
then
an insult.
looking back at it now, it's like, now if you say that to me, I'll eat it up. But if you try to come and touch me, that's a different story.
100%.
Yeah.
So this is, I actually want to take the time to thank you for being on the show and officially let you know you're now a member of the Straight Talk family.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come back, you just give me a call. Say, George, let's do it again. I would love to have you back on the show.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try. I always try to make my interviews very fun and relaxing. I'm glad you had fun. Last question, because I think this is an important question, just because I saw the connection my daughter had with you and how great you are with kids. And you mentioned about being a father.
Yes.
Down the line, one day, hopefully. Hope you get a daughter. Hope she drives you as crazy as mine does.
No!
Both of them. Both of them. They're the lights of my life. But my 3-year-old, she's Satan.
I'll send them back to Kurdistan. I'm going back home.
If you, at a show, if you had a little boy or a little girl come up to you.
Yes.
And, they meet you to take pictures with you. And they turn to you and they say, I love what you do, and I want to do what you do. What would be the advice you would pass on to that little boy or little girl that comes up to you and says, you know what, I want to get into pro wrestling?
I'll tell them to do it. Do whatever you believe in. Then don't let nobody ever tell you no. Because if at one point in life you decide to say no, you won't be here. It's like don't listen to anybody else and just follow your dreams.
Very hallmarkish card of you. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it for the day. Again, thank you so much for being here, taking the time out with me. I appreciate it. And good luck in your future, man. I know it's going to be bright. I'm going to see you one day on my TV and be like, I interviewed that guy. I interviewed that guy. I know all about Kurdistan. I know all about, how gangster he is. And I know one day he's going to meet one of the Usos and he's going to fuck one of them up. We don't know which one. He don't care. He wants one or the other. He doesn't want both, but he wants one or the other.
I love it.
All right, crew. Thank you so much for taking the time out today.
Anytime, brother.
All right, man.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for another episode on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Also follow us on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And for all our merchandise, you can search us on ProWrestlingTees.com.